Hey guys, subscribe for daily content. And if you're shopping for gear, make sure you check out the description for the newest items at some of the very best online retailers. There's also links for some of the items that I personally recommend. Thanks!
What's going on YouTube? Metal Complex here, and today I've got another short little unboxing video to share with you guys. Should be pretty interesting. So this, I got this piece of paper with it, and I'm going to read here. I'm just going to kind of go over it quickly. It says, thanks so much for taking a look at our new Razon. This was designed... Razon. Razon, maybe. It's probably not as, I just realized what I was saying. It's probably not as, like, unceremonial as Razon. It's Razon. It's probably cooler. The pronunciation is probably cooler than the way that I'm making it. But anyways, it says it was designed by Combo, or Kambu, who is a designer that I've come to know as somebody who always makes really, really interesting stuff. So I'm always excited to see. It features a magna cut blade, a frame lock knife, etc. In Spanish, it means reason. So maybe it is raisin, which is funny because I'm just thinking of the food, like a dried grape. But the design is meant to be sort of a modern interpretation of the traditional historical Spanish folding knife called a NAVAJA or NAVAJA. I know you guys are going to make fun of me for the pronunciation, but I'm just going to say both, and you guys can laugh, and then we can all assume that there's a proper way to say it, and I just don't know. That's fine. And then, yeah, there's some more information there. But that's the background on this. So let's go ahead and open it up. Thanks to my patrons for supporting me. Please make sure to follow me on Instagram at metal_complex, and at least for the time being, on TikTok at _metal_complex. This knife will be listed in the description. You guys can take a look at it if you want. It does help my channel when you use those links, but that's entirely up to you. Good. It is on the larger side. That's what I like to see. I mean, I don't mind smaller knives. I just think we have enough of them. Yeah, right off the bat, that looks like something that we could expect to see from Combo. Huge thumb disc. Whoa. There we go. Yeah, that definitely does look like the pictures, right? I think Cold Steel does something in a similar shape, but there's like the historical, or traditional looking knives there. But yeah, that's cool and actually really, really comfortable. That's actually a really nice, clean, unique look, which is what we expect from Kambu. Look at they put Magna Cut in cursive there. These knives, oh boy, that is really smooth. Holy moly, I gave it a little bit of a, yeah, that's completely dry. I want to make sure that that's actually tight. Yeah, it is. Wow. Okay, so this aesthetic is obviously not going to be for everybody. By the way, new folks, this is what my channel brings this brand new concept to the internet that nobody's ever heard of before. It's called an unboxing, which is where a content creator takes something out of a box and reacts to it for the very first time. I know you've probably never heard of that before. I found that over the last few months that a lot of people are just completely blown away by this concept and assume that it must be a review. It is in fact an unboxing. The review comes after I take it out of the box, and ideally, after I've spent some time with it. Doing your due diligence as a reviewer would mean carrying and experiencing the product before you actually give your impressions on it. Apparently, the internet has conditioned people to think backwards, so hopefully that offers some clarification. Boy, anyways, sorry. This aesthetic is not going to be to everybody's liking. And that's okay, right? One of the cool things about the knife world is that we are very much not limited to designs that all have the same aesthetic and are all absolutely 100% geared design-wise towards utility, because that would be extremely boring. I think utility, generally speaking, is important, but giving something more of a designy aesthetic and giving it some more personality is the very reason that the knife world is interesting to so many people in the first place. We got a lot of people who believe that knife design should not, new knife designs should not exist unless they are 100% utilitarian and 100% based on, aesthetics and, ergonomics and blade geometries that have been proven to be superior based on, the past. And the end result of that would be that everything looks like the Buck 110, the Opinel, and the Ontario Rat 2. And I don't know about you, but that sounds incredibly boring. So thank goodness for people who ignore that completely and do their own thing. Because otherwise, the world wouldn't be interesting and I wouldn't have a channel. So thank goodness for people like Kombu, who just literally like freight train going down the tracks. Just there's a dude on the tracks with a wiffle bat and he's going, no, no, no. Design for the sake of design should be outlawed. And they just gets obliterated. No. Design for the sake of design, I think, is absolutely what makes the knife world so interesting from so many perspectives, right? I think identifying something that is obviously utilitarian and just straightforward, I think that's the easiest thing in the world. I think like literally anybody could do that, and it just takes like no brain effort. You know, that's fine. There's plenty of tools out there. And if you're looking for something like that, oh boy, howdy, do you have a sea of models that are available to you? I mean, a literal sea. They are everywhere. We figured out that recipe a long time ago. So if you're looking for that, you have all of the choices you could possibly imagine, plus an additional million of them. I mean, like that's, if you're looking for that, you've got it. What's interesting is stuff that exists still within the realm of utility and, you know, a good day-to-day cutting tool, but has more interesting design elements, right? I'm saying the same thing over and over again right now, but I really have to beat that down because it seems like either we've lost sight of it or there's just so many people who are just not aware of this, like the idea behind a huge portion of this community. Welcome. It's okay to let things be interesting. It's okay to let things be fun. This is really, really impressive. I don't know what the coating is. I'm going to guess it's probably similar to PVD, right? But I do like the contrast with the titanium. I have to assume you probably have a few different options in terms of aesthetics and anodizing, maybe not. Really, really have to emphasize the action. The action is much smoother than what I normally expect from Bestech, and that's really nice. It's also much more comfortable than I would have expected. I like that the pocket clip goes perfectly with the design. It's obviously not going to be, you know, lefty mountable because it's meant to curve this way. You'd have to have a totally different clip because it would curve the wrong way if you flipped it over. We have a steel lock bar insert, doubling as the over travel stop. MagnaCut, I assume, given if you're wondering what the heat treat is on the MagnaCut, so much of what I have seen from Bestech using MagnaCut is anywhere from 62 to 64. I mean, you literally get on Google and throw a rock in any direction, just with the words Bestech and MagnaCut and HRC, and you'll probably have tons of listing examples of Bestech getting that Rockwell hardness to that zone, which is ideal. That's optimal. This also has a cutting geometry that should exemplify MagnaCut. That's nice and thin. Do I have a piece of paper? Yeah. This doesn't really prove anything cutting paper, but it is nice to feel, you know, how a blade like this, you know, oh yeah, very clean, right? Any you know, geometry, as long as it's sharp, the edge will still cut, but it is nice to feel very, very minimal drag, especially with the blade being coated. All right. This feels cool. I bet you anything it's a fairly expensive knife. Not a ton going on with the handle, but it is cool, and I think it does capture the goal, which was to make it look like the original historical NAVAJA. Sorry, I'm so sorry. I'm not doing that on purpose. I just don't know how to pronounce it. This will get a full comprehensive review, just not today. I will link it down in the description. You guys can check it out if you want to. Thanks again to Bestech for sending it in. Please make sure to follow me on Instagram at metal_complex. If you enjoyed this video, leave a like. If you'd like to check out my other content, I do, of course, have lots of videos of knives that are either expensive or inexpensive that I do or don't like, so check those out. And if you enjoy all my content, go ahead and click on that Metal Complex logo right there and subscribe because there's definitely more coming. Thanks again for watching, everybody, and have a great day.